Hey campers, it's Jacqueline Frost, and welcome to Camp Frosty! Today's video is sponsored by Paparazzi Jewelry. Hey everyone, it's Jacqueline Frost. I wanted to tell you about Paparazzi Jewelry. My friend Jennifer is selling this lovely jewelry. Necklace and earrings are a set, and they're only $5. If you like cheap costume jewelry that looks a little bit more expensive than just $5, check out Paparazzi Jewelry. The link is below. Today's episode is a story time. Now recently I was taken to the emergency room with some severe back pain. I didn't know what was going on. I had muscle spasms before. This didn't feel like a muscle spasm. Prior to my weight loss surgery, I had back pain if I overexerted myself or was walking too long. This was a pain unlike I had ever felt before. So, know thy body, I went to the emergency room. Now, when I arrived at the ER, they did standard COVID-19 questions, as they do now. Once that was done, they sat me in the bed, they did an EKG, because my blood pressure was a little bit high, and they took me back to the room, and that was done. And when I was going through my symptoms with the doctor, we will call him Dr. McHottie. Hi. What was I talking about? Oh, the doctor, yes. Well, okay, so I'm describing the pain where it's located in my back, so the thoracic spine, and it's kind of a shooting pain, and my abdomen was hurting as well. So he says, well, we want to do a CT scan because the pain you're describing, the shooting pain from the mid-back to the mid-front, sounds like an aortic dissection. Now, I only know of aortic dissections from John Ritter, the late actor who passed away from an aortic dissection. So, where's the CT? My husband is waiting in the car in the parking lot because you can't have visitors in the hospital right now because of the COVID-19 outbreak. So, I'm laying in bed with my mask on my face, and my body temperature is kind of fluctuating. I'm either cold or warm. I don't know what's going on. The hospital itself was cold. And when they took me back for the CT scan, the CT room was freezing. Like, my hand was shaking. It was freezing back there. Now, I had never had a CT scan done before, so I didn't know what to expect. But I see this table with this like tunnel, and I'm thinking, okay, I know what that is. That's the MRI machine. But I'm not getting an MRI, I'm getting a CT. Well, fun! It was the CT machine. I was actually getting a CTA aortic scan. So I get up off the gurney, lay on the table, and as they're kind of pushing through, he says, well, just, rest your arms up at the top of this tunnel. So I got my hands up there and I'm waiting. And above me, there's this stained glass picture. It's like a tree with red flowers. I think, oh, that's good because some people are claustrophobic. So it kind of gives them something to look up at. So I get fitted back in and they tell me, well, we're going to give you contrast. So you might feel a little bit warm, but it'll pass. You might have a feeling like you're wetting yourself, but you're not. It's just the contrast. That'll pass too. So I'm thinking, okay. So I get my arms up above the tunnel and I kind of get pushed through a little bit. But I can still see like the stained glass tree with the red flowers. So I'm thinking, okay, I'll just focus on that while the scan is going on. Lo and behold, as I'm looking up at the tree, whoosh, I get sucked in to this machine, and then the machine is talking to you. It says, hold your breath. So you hold your breath. Then the machine spits you back out. breathe. So then you breathe. Like, okay. So I'm waiting, you know, arms are still up. Whoosh, it pushes me back in again. Hold your breath, hold my breath. Then it spits me back out again, breathe. I'm thinking, okay, that was it. There was no warm sensation. There was no like peeing sensation. Like I didn't feel like I was wetting myself. Then all of a sudden, I feel this something go through my body. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh, okay. This must be what a hot flash feels like. I'm still waiting and all of a sudden, whoosh, I get sucked back into this machine. I have been sucked more times in one night during this machine than ever. So I'm waiting, I'm in this machine, hold your breath, I hold my breath, it does its little scanning, and then all of a sudden I feel like I'm wetting myself. It was that feeling that the tech told me I would feel. I'm like, I really hope that it's just the feeling and that I'm not actually wetting myself, because it really felt like I was wetting myself. So the scan's done, it spits me back out, and I get back onto the bed, and the warm sensation has faded. The feeling like I wet myself is gone. I feel dry. And I get wheeled back to the room. I get back to the room and I'm like shaking. I'm freezing. So I asked the nurse, you know, can I get a blanket? And she says, well, since you weren't brought in with a fever, we can give you a blanket. So she gives me 2 warm blankets. I get all tucked in and covered up, and I'm just like, oh, this feels so much better. I'm like so warm now. And then a minute later, I'm like, okay, I'm so warm now. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so warm now. Take one of the blankets off. I meant to throw it in the chair and went right through the hole in the chair. I'm not getting that one back. So then I take the other blanket and just stick it next to me where my shirt and my phone and my glasses and my hat are. Nurse comes back in, gives me my muscle relaxer. So I take that. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be good. I'm gonna be fixed up. I'm not gonna hurt anymore, because all during this time, my back is still hurting me. The moving, the getting off the bed onto the CT machine and then back on the bed again. So I'm still in pain. So I'm waiting for this muscle relaxer to kick in. So I asked the nurse, says, how long will it be for the CT results to come back? And she looks at the chart on the wall and says, about 1 to 2 hours. I'm like, okay, so it's after 9 o'clock at night. My dog still needs to go outside for his evening hoop. So I text my husband in the parking lot. It says, it's gonna be about an hour, 2 hours. Go home, take care of the dog, make sure that he gets, you know, out before bed. So he leaves. About 15 minutes after I text him to go, in comes the doctor with the results from the CTA. The results are fine. There's no aortic dissection. Everything around the heart looks good. So he says it was probably just a muscle spasm or a pinched nerve. So the doctor gives me the results and then he leaves. And then the nurse leaves to get the discharge papers. And then she comes back with the discharge papers. And, you know, I asked her, I says, you know, by this time it had been like 20 minutes since she gave me the muscle relaxer. And I asked her, I says, when is this muscle relaxer supposed to kick in? And she says, you mean it hasn't kicked in yet? I says, no. She's like, well, you should have said something when the doctor was in. Now he's in trauma with another patient. I'm like, well, great. And of course, she gives me the prescriptions that I can't get filled. So I get home, I take a couple Advil, try to get comfortable in bed, and I don't know what time I fell asleep that night, but I could not get comfortable. Well, the Advil kicked in, I want to say maybe 2:30 in the morning, and I was able to get a couple hours sleep. The next morning I got up, my husband took me to the pharmacy, got my prescriptions filled, and I was able to take a nap on the couch. By that evening, I was feeling a little bit better. The pain had gone from like a 11 out of 10 when it first hit, down to about a 2. There was still a little bit of a twinge, but it wasn't as intense. So now we are day 2 back from the hospital, and I'm feeling a whole lot better than I was, thanks to this medication. So I also want to take this time to thank the first responders, the doctors, the nurses, everybody in the medical field for the job they're doing during this pandemic. And you are the true heroes. And to Dr. McHottie, who I may have found on Facebook. That's today's story time. Be sure to like and subscribe and ring my bell for more notifications. Thanks a lot and take care. Bye.